structure and interferes with rights according to the leaders, do you understand the problem of the vision we display to the world? You get the problem. Do you understand why they don't see what we claim to see? So, that is naturally going to spill out and down into the gifts. It's going to affect the dispensation of gifts. Okay? No one has gone into an evangelical church and complained that the sin in their life that has caused them grief has been taken away by the power of God in the name Jesus Christ. No one is complaining about that. Okay? Partially, what they're complaining about is that we say there's an unrighteous group in the political region of our country, and there's a righteous group. And in order to attack the righteous group, they went to an evangelical church. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? What's the message we're putting out? What's the problem? Can anybody help me with this? The path is really simple to follow. It's kind of like if we were in the jungle and it was all lush around us and we had to find out where the stampede of rhinos was, we would find that out really easy because all the brush would be all tore down and smashed. And we would say, oh, the elephants or the rhinos, whatever, they went that way. It's really an easy thing to follow. Logically simple. To know there's a problem. Okay? Why, when the world attacks an evangelical person, do they go to a church building? When that person lives by faith.
Well, they don't live by faith. They're going to a church building. They should be on their knees.
They're fairly certain that that physical structure has something to do with what we believe. and that since we go there in this weekly cycle, and we want to defend it by the leaders there, the worshipers there, the services there, the children we bring there, they know where to go. When John chapter 1 verse 12 says, as many as received him, to those who believe in his name, have become children of God, do they see that? Do they comprehend that at all? Is that what the salt is putting out? I don't know. I mean, I'm just going with the flow here. When they went into the evangelical building, did they believe they were attacking the source, the place where our righteousness stems from? Were they attacking the place where the ideology is nested at? Why were they there? Why were they not out in the streets trying to throw stones up into heaven to hit God?
Because they know they can't.
Well,
And we are salt, because that's why they're coming into church, because that's where we're at. You know, we are salt to their wounds. They hate us.
did they attack God though? Or did they attack, in their mind, the evangelical who has an ideology?
Yeah, that's what they're
And that's
attacking.
and it's protected by leaders who say we have rights. This is what the world sees. The Holy Spirit had Peter that day in Acts chapter 3 stop at the gate and show them something they never saw before. The Holy Spirit in a man, not Jesus Christ. The Holy Spirit in a person reborn. It was never seen before. Is the world seeing that now? Probably not. That's probably why they're attacking these physical structures, because that's the only testimony that makes any sense to them. And in the worship of our government, we take our worship to the government that we practice in these physical structures every week, and we talk about it in the government as the government is an extension of that worship. And when a political figure does not vote our heart or our mind, we say they crossed the aisle. They crossed the aisle. Why? Because we make what goes on in the government part of our worship. It's an extension of us. So the attack in the church is no different than the attack on lying groups on both sides of the aisle. Both sides of the altar. It's the same problem. So when we label things red or blue or righteous or good, we are extending the goodness and righteousness of God into a place it does not exist. And when we do that, we give them a foothold. Because Philippians 3 says our righteousness comes from God. And His presence inside of us. And not, by extension, to the right or left aisles of the government. But when we do that, we give them a foothold. We give Satan a foothold. When we go by the law in our worship, when we go by the law, what are we doing then that damages the soul? What are we doing when we follow the law, which was proven in Romans to be unable to save us or to heal us? What are we doing when we are going by the law in our worship methods? What do we do? What are we causing? What's the problem that we're causing? Anybody have any scriptures that come against the use of the law by the reborn believer in Jesus Christ? We don't taste like salt because the salt is not a physical structure. We're the temple of the Holy Spirit. Right? Anybody have a verse? Know of a verse that calls us the temple of the Holy Spirit? 1 Corinthians 6:19. Somebody want to read that for us? We also would benefit by looking at the difference between the temple and the church and define those two terms. Temple versus church. Because those are very different. If we're true to the faith, what we're actually seeing in the church building on Sunday are temples. Those are the true worship locations or witnesses, structures which God has built, which Christ said he would resurrect from the dead. That's us. Christ said, I will rebuild this temple in 3 days. And if we're found in him, we are a temple of the Holy Spirit. So this temple that is in this church building is not defined by that weekly service and the following of the law. The world cannot see the temple. They don't understand it. It's invisible to them. God has given us tools that come out from the spiritual realm, just like when he created the world in Romans chapter 1, he said, I have put the manifestations of myself, a spirit being, into the world so people can see me. But we distract them because we go to these physical places and live a religious life, and we don't portray the temple of the Holy Spirit to the world. So we're confusing them by living by the law. We're muddying the water. We're confusing them. Anybody find that verse for us? You want to read it? 1 Corinthians 6:19. Anybody have it? Nobody likes this teaching. How come? Is it off center?
I'm trying to get my kids dressed.
Lily literally won't stop screaming. So I'm trying to listen and participate. She literally has been a fuss butt. So I'm trying.
Well, we're gonna. It's gonna take a while because I'm just. I threw out a whole bunch of steps that I want to go over for the next couple weeks. So it'll be out there tomorrow. I have tons of other verses. I know that it's tough for us to respond because of religion. Religion has replaced living by faith. And so, and religion is what was put away with the law, and we're still stuck with it. It's clinging to us, and much of that is due to our leaders. Our leaders in the faith have have not helped. And that's the problem. They're not helping. They are content. No one at your church is telling you to not come on a weekly basis to a physical structure so that the world will see you. I mean, but that's the portrayal that we are giving. The world thinks we're not much different than somebody attending bingo or the Y once a week, or the temples that build the body with weights and treadmills and bikes. We're no different. The faith has let the world down. The salt has become affected, and there are so many verses that can help us to get back on track. But the problem is we have to believe we're off track. No, we're not going to pursue them as truth unless we're off track. And we see that and believe that we're off track. So I'd like to take a look at that over the next couple weeks and see if we are off track with that and how to fix it. But 1 Corinthians 6:19, or do you not know? See, that's the question the Holy Spirit is asking us. Or do you not know that your body is a temple? In fact, it is the only temple. Unless you bring the law in, it is the only temple of the Holy Spirit. There is no other. This is where God outside of heaven lives. How come the world sees a physical structure and not the temple